Hello and welcome to the Half a Dozen Hospitality Podcast. Today, I am absolutely blessed to be joined by Courtney Smith. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am unstoppable. Like I said, when I walk through your door, it is just after 9 a.m. I'll give the listeners and the viewers a peek under the tent. It's just after 9 a.m. on Monday morning here in sunny Badek. And Courtney and her partner Daniel have invited me into their home. So thank you so much for, one, inviting me into your home, and two, making time for me in this podcast. I say this to all my guests, that I believe categorically time is the most valuable thing that we have. So thank you for sharing yours with me and the listeners. I really appreciate it.
Happy to do so.
So Courtney runs, operates, owns...
I don't own. I wish I
okay.
I did. Maybe someday.
Okay.
Right now, just run.
Okay, great. I'll remind you to get that mic up when you're... Yeah,
sorry.
that's all right. So the shop is called Victoria County Creates. And I was intrigued to learn more about the shop and what you do at the shop. But before we get into that, help listeners understand better who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do.
Well, like you said, I run Victoria County Creates studio and gallery in Badek. And I guess I'm not sure how much I should tell you in the backstory right away.
You go as deep as you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my mom operates the Glass Artisans Gallery on the North Shore.
Yes. Shout out, Mom.
And about 5 years ago, she talked about starting another business in Badek that carries a lot of different varieties of mediums. And at the time I was like, yeah, sure, I would be happy with another job. I'll work a couple shifts in the gallery. And fast forward to now, I'm calling the shots and running it as I would like to.
And for, again, people that are listening from abroad, give us kind of an idea of, when we walk into the space, what are we seeing, smelling, hearing? Like what makes up this room?
Well, the gallery features over 120 different artists, and they're from all different mediums. So that's wood, glass, pottery, printmaking, textiles, you name it, we've got it.
And are they all from Cape Breton? Are they all from Nova Scotia? Like, how do you guys decipher what you bring in and by who?
Yeah, so hence our name, Victoria County Creates. We carry mostly Victoria County artists. And we also have some artists from other Cape Breton counties that I wouldn't normally have that type of product in.
Okay.
And then we have an artist in residence program as well that we would normally be operating in a non-COVID year.
Right.
And we bring artists in through that, and we carry their work while they're here and for a few years after as well.
Can we highlight some of the artists that maybe you feel are like mainstays that people need to understand or need to know, and maybe a few up and coming names that you think are really deserving of some limelight?
Sure. Yeah. I think everyone in there deserves a little piece of that limelight.
Right.
So I won't be able to name all 120, but I can name a few. Kate Leach is someone that comes to mind. First off, she was one of our artists in residence
Okay.
For the last 2 years, and she's a potter. And so we met her through a mutual friend, and she came here and stayed in Badek and fell in love, and if it wasn't for COVID, would be back here probably living with us or staying in our artist in residence cottage again. And she does earthenware pottery.
Okay.
And she does amazing, like, colorful jewelry and functional pieces.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So where
she doesn't have any social media, so it's like it's a bad plug for her.
Oh no, that's all right. People need to come into your shop and buy her stuff and check it out.
Yeah, come see it in person.
Yeah. So how long has she been doing what she's doing? And sorry, is she from Victoria County, or she's from...
Yeah, sorry. So she came through our artist in residence program from Ontario.
Oh, from Ontario. Okay.
Yeah, and she is dual citizen with Australia. So she typically would spend 6 months in Canada and 6 months in Australia. And it looks like this year it's 12 months in Australia.
Oh, okay. So she's far from Badek.
Poor Kate, right?
Yeah, poor Kate. Although I guess it's winter there right now. So,
it is. So it is kind of like poor Kate, but I don't feel too bad.
She's in Australia. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is she's still doing what she does? She still creates and doing those things?
She has like this amazing nomadic lifestyle where she has kind of just moves from place to place and makes what she wants to happen. And she's doing that in Australia right now, thanks to friends that she has down there who are hosting her for her accidental extended stay.
Right. That's inspiring.
It is, yeah.
Any other creators that you want to highlight? Again, you said 120, so we don't have time to list them all, but are there any other top of mind that you think are really intriguing to you, or also maybe just a good representation of what Cape Breton is and what Victoria County has to offer?
Yeah, actually, the mutual friend that introduced me to Kate, Mervi Hopkoski, she's originally from Finland.
Okay.
And moved to Canada about 20 years ago, was living in Ontario as a glassblower, and then came to do a residency at the Glass Artisans Gallery.
Your mother's place?
Yep.
Yeah.
And she fell in love with the area and wanted to stay longer, so we accepted her for a residency at the Victoria County Creates Gallery. And she started working with driftwood and found materials, and she kind of just worked with whatever was available to make what she wanted happen, which was to stay in Cape Breton and find a place here. And she was actually set to go back in October, back to Ontario to do glassblowing and continue living there. And she was like, nope, I want to stay in Cape Breton. I want to live here. So she just didn't go back. And right up until the day she was expecting to leave, she hoped that she would find somewhere to rent or stay. And she willed it, and it happened. And it's like so inspiring that she was able to make that happen. So now she owns a house in Little River, just 40 minutes north of us. And she's doing textiles and driftwood, and would normally be glassblowing if it wasn't for a broken foot.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
How important are your feet with glassblowing?
Super.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I wouldn't think, but I guess you need to be on your feet to properly blow.
Yeah. It's a lot of movement.
Right.
And a lot of weight that you have to carry with drawing the glass out of the furnace. So I think it's a little bit much.
What's it like, as you described, just two of the creators that you feature at Victoria Creates?
Victoria
County Creates. Thank you. I'm going to get it right eventually. As I listen to you tell the stories of just those two artists, I wonder what it's like for you to be in that space and be around people, especially women like this, who are, you said the word inspiring, and I don't think there's a better word, like so inspiring, who are just, like you even said it yourself, willing it to happen. Mm-hmm. What is that like for you to be in a space, even when I bet you're alone and there's no one else in there, just being with those pieces? There must be like an energy that you pick up on that maybe is like showing you like literally anything is possible. Like what is it like being around such inspiring people and inspiring pieces?
I think you said it really well. There is an energy in the shop, and I feel it every day when I get to go in there and work there. And I never feel like low on steam when I'm in there. Mm-hmm. Like it's a good place to be working, truly. And I've heard so many people that just come in and pass through the shop, like, this place has such a good energy, like really good vibes. Just it's such a creative space, and you can see it through the work that we carry, thanks to all the talented people that are in the area.
Right.
It rubs off. Yeah.
What is it about as well? So for me coming from Vancouver, calling that home for the last 15 years, coming back to Nova Scotia, and I never truly lived in a small town like this. I never truly understood the culture that exists in Nova Scotia outside of like the bubble that I grew up in as a young child and then a young man. And even in Vancouver, there's almost too much going on. So there's a lot of noise, if you will.
Yeah.
Whereas when you come here, and in a good way, things slow down a little bit. But there's also this, whether it's a bakery or a shop like yours or an artist studio, it just seems to be this endless supply of creativity. What is it about Cape Breton? What is it about Bedeck? What is it about the East Coast that kind of manifests through these, like I said, these amazing little bakeries or these amazing artist studios or shops like yours? Like, why does it exist, in your opinion?
That's a tough question. I think it ultimately, I think a lot of people, whether they're that type of personality or not, take their energy from other people, and we all kind of like riffraff off one another.
Right.
So seeing people work so hard, whether it's seasonally or not in the tourism industry, it just kind of inspires others to do the same. And living in such a beautiful space, it kind of makes it easy to be inspired for creativity in any fashion. So like Mervi, who I mentioned earlier, she works with a lot of found materials from the beach, whether it be driftwood or rope that's just laying around. So the possibilities are endless here for anyone who comes and wants to create. You can make it happen.
Yeah, I like that. And going back to the whole inspiration piece, is there anything that you have been inspired to do on your own through like the energy that you're picking up off of your shop and seeing again like these women mentors, I would say, to kind of do what they're doing? So have you been inspired to dabble in something yourself, or is there anything kind of burning inside of you to like reach out and do it?
Kind of. So I create as well. I'm a glass enamel artist, so I do paintings with crushed glass and kiln fire them. But I also like to dabble in a lot of other things, and the gallery has given me an opportunity to see firsthand what other things are out there.
Okay.
But I have learned that I should stick to what I enjoy most, and that is glass enamel painting. And I think everyone should get out of their comfort zone and try new things.
Like podcasting.
Right. That was painful, but here I am.
Yeah,
Not so bad. You're doing great.
You're doing awesome. You're doing fantastic.
But yeah, so the gallery kind of has pushed me to grow as a person. When I started there, like I said, I thought it was just going to be somewhere I would go 2 or 3 days a week to keep the shop open. I would open the door.
Right.
And I have since then got to know everyone that's in there, all 120 of them, and you can't know everyone and not be inspired.
Right.
Yeah.
So is it safe to assume that some of your work is in the studio as well?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. So people can check out your work if they come by the shop.
They can. I have originals and prints.
Amazing. I'm guessing that cup you're drinking your coffee out of is it local?
It's a Kate Leach piece.
Oh, awesome. Shout out Kate.
Yay.
So for those of you that are listening on the audio platforms, head over to YouTube and you can check out this beautiful mug by Kate Leach, which it looks like I'm going to say a rose with some bees on it.
Yep.
Beautiful. Now, a piece like that, would she have actually I should say the pieces that you guys carry, would she have produced those here, or? They
were made right in our studio space.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
From rock clay to finished glazeware.
Wow.
They were made at VCC.
That's so cool. Who would you say who would you say is your target demographic? So when you think about bringing in a Kate Leach piece or anything else, are you thinking about, okay, who is going to want this or who's going to shop for this? And then who are you seeing actually come through the doors, or is it always changing, always surprising?
I think I have a bad answer for that.
There's no bad answers.
I actually don't very often think of my demographic. It's whether I think the piece or the product or whatever it is of good quality and is well made. And then the right person will find it usually. I don't really have to think too much about the demographic. That being said, we have just opened an online store.
Oh, good for you guys.
And I have been more carefully curating what goes on there, thinking about a demographic that would be more of my age, maybe like 25 to 45.
Right.
And can appreciate the shift that's happening in our culture to more artisan-made quality products.
And help me and listeners understand, this is a very important question, especially if you're going to be traveling to a beautiful place like Cape Breton and coming to Quebec and going to VCC. How do I and the listeners truly understand what makes a quality piece? Or do we define that as the people that are just perceiving the art? Or are there things that you can share with us that are like, guys, if you tick these boxes, likely than not it's going to last you, or it is like one of a kind? Like, what are you looking for? What should we look for as general users when we come into a shop like yours to make sure that it is of high quality?
I don't think there's like a blanket statement I could make where you could just check those boxes, but in a shop like mine, you should definitely be talking to the shopkeeper or the people that are working there and asking them about the product. Let them tell you why it's a quality product. Like for Kate's pottery, for example, it's earthenware. It's which means it's a lighter weight clay. She also makes like a nice groove in the top of her cup for your lip to sit in just nice, and there's that as well on the handle. it's the perfect kind of cup. And here I am plugging Kate Leach again, but
No, that's great. I think it's a beautiful piece, and why not plug Kate Leach? She does great work, and it's here. So let's talk about it.
yeah, it's right in front of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would definitely ask people to talk more about what they're looking at.
Right.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. They're not stupid. Not everybody knows everything about how all the pieces are made. You might know a lot about textiles and not know a lot about glass blowing. So there's questions to ask, and you should ask them.
Can I ask how difficult is, or how easy is it, I should say, for you to walk into a shop if you're traveling and pick something up and you can tell? Are you, like, can you tell right away if something's cheaper or not as high quality?
I would like to think that I can.
Right.
It's something you don't really know you have.
Yeah.
But until you're using it, like
Yeah.
going into another shop, I usually only gravitate towards artisan shops anyway, so I'm not too often handling dollar store cups. But yeah, you can tell the difference. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the average person could tell as well.
I think that's something as well. I just traveled to a spot on the East Coast, and I won't say what it is because shame on you, this spot, but I was really disappointed by how commercial everything seemed. And it was truly, it was kind of heartbreaking to me because I spent a lot of time in this area as a kid, and I'm sure even back then it was the same, but now it's probably just 10x what it used to be in regards to the commercial side of things. So how difficult is it, or would it be for a shop like Victoria County Creates to hang on to that sincerity, to hang on to that genuine care for providing high quality artisan products when, if, and hopefully this is true, this podcast release and you guys are flooded with 1,000 people at your door, or all of a sudden Bedeck blows up and becomes even more of a destination than it already is? How do you, as the shop leader, as someone who looks after the space, ensure that you don't kind of rest on your laurels and you don't say, oh, well, people are coming through the door, so we'll just buy the cheaper stuff, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. And our shift has totally been brought about by COVID, so I am thinking more now about artisan partnerships.
Oh, okay.
My mind never goes to, I need to get those pens that say VCC or anything like that.
Or like snow globes with like your shop on the inside of it.
Yeah, so my mind never wanders there, thankfully. I think it's just a mindset that I've gotten into, being so artisan focused.
Right.
But I am thinking about how can we continue to support our artists in a time that is so hard for so many. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at artisan partnerships for new products in the gallery, something that would be exclusive to VCC, something that we can work with the artist to have made for the space. So that can look like handmade brooches that are embroidered.
Yeah.
It can also look like handmade leather embossed toques.
Okay, yeah.
Or a t-shirt design that someone local has put together and
nice.
then it's printed here in Cape Breton. So,
okay.
Yeah, we're working on those sorts of things. I hope you never come in and see.
Right. I just realized that when I said snow globes, you could have literally just put in an order for a bunch of snow globes, and I totally just like burst your bubble on snow globes. But thankfully, you're not doing snow globes.
No snow globes.
No snow globes. T-shirts. Do you guys sell T-shirts currently?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, amazing.
We have T-shirts that I've designed actually.
They
say support creative communities on it, and it has our logo.
Oh, nice.
Shop. Yeah.
I'm going to go. Can you also get them online right now?
You can,
Shout out to the online store. What's the website?
VictoriaCountyCreates.ca.
Nice. And you can just shop right from there.
You can, yeah.
And in relation to where we're at right now, we won't give out your home address, but where we're at right now, how far are we from your shop?
About a kilometer.
Oh, dang. So you can like crawl to work.
I could, yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. I'm going to stop. What time do you guys open up?
10 o'clock.
I'm going to check it out. I wanted to get some like Cape Breton swag, so I'll definitely go by and grab a t-shirt. And my wife's gonna hear this eventually. I hope she listens to the podcast, but she's a mug freak, very specific with her mugs, especially in the morning for her morning coffee.
Oh, good.
So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking like that might work. She likes that kind of design, so we'll check that one out.
Awesome.
This is a question that I've asked a few of the guests so far on this little excursion of mine, and I'm putting you on the spot a bit, but I know you can do it.
Oh, dear.
Finish this sentence for me. Cape Breton is
A creative island?
oh, okay. Did you know I was going to ask you that?
No.
Oh, wow. I liked it. You just went with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It is.
It's that word is always in my front focus, and I'm always it's what I eat, sleep, and breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is it about Cape Breton? Like, why? I get what you were saying earlier about like we just riff raff off each other, so people are picking up on other people's energies and just creating with what's around. But like, what is unique? What is unique about Cape Breton? Like, why is it happening here, and why is it so different from anywhere else?
I haven't been to many other places, so it's kind of hard to compare. But I think here it's the sense of community you get with the people. There is no way you can not know everyone that you're living around.
Right.
So you're seeing them at the markets, and you're seeing them on the street and at the bank, and it's just, you know, everybody. And unlike me, I mean, maybe you're not like me and you can remember everyone's name, but
right.
You know the faces, and you can see everyone supporting one another. They're out there doing that. That being said, there are still some people I wish knew about my shop in town, but yeah.
Okay. Hey, maybe this is their opportunity to hop on the podcast, and
they're podcast listeners.
There you go. They're probably already subscribed to the podcast. Now they'll find out. How much of your focus now with the current reality has shifted from looking local to more global, or are you now even more hyper focused on local? Like, where is your mindset at?
I'm still thinking local, but also globally.
Okay.
Because of COVID, I've had to think more about the importance of social media and online. Before, it was something that was an afterthought, something I could maybe make myself do with a lot of effort.
Okay.
It wasn't a conscious thought. And now I wake up and I'm like, oh, I have to make an Instagram post today. I have to reach new people.
Right.
It's something we need to do. There's not enough here in Nova Scotia or New Brunswick or the Maritimes in general for us to keep going if this is the way it stays. So we have to have a more global reach. So that was the thinking behind our online
the online store.
The online store. Yeah.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. Let's take a quick pause. I'm going to reset the cameras and come back for some more grilling questions that I know Courtney will crush. We'll be right back, guys. Okay, I got to do the clap thing. 1 second. We're back. That's to get the video lined up. Anyway, we were just chatting off air about the good energy and how Nova Scotia and Cape Breton is just, there's something about the people here, and I think that's unique to this province and to the East Coast, and I think that's also a good segue in again to, there's something unique about the artisans, the artists, and the artisan work that you're displaying at your shop. There's just something unique about it that you're not going to find in a place like Vancouver or in a place like Toronto. Sure, you could find it, but it just would be a bit different.
Yeah. I think part of the reason I'm so lucky is there's not a lot of shops in Cape Breton that kind of feature all of the artists. So there's the Craft Center in Sydney, who do an amazing job in Sydney.
Shout out Craft Center.
Yeah. And then there's me and Bedeck, and then there's a few other spots around the trail in Cape Breton that really feature a wide variety of artists.
Right.
But I feel lucky to have connected with so many just from Victoria County and Cape Breton.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how far is, again, to give listeners that aren't from here an idea, or even from here, they don't even know, what does Victoria County cover? Good
question. So that was something I had to find out, of course.
Right.
It goes all the way to the very, very tip of Cape Breton. So Meat Cove.
Yeah.
And then it goes south about an hour and a half.
So, okay. So it's big.
It is pretty big. Yeah. So there's 14 counties in, I hope I'm getting that right now.
That's
there's
right.
14 counties in Nova Scotia.
We'll fact check it.
Yeah. And 4 of them are in Cape Breton. And I represent, 4 of them, but focused on Victoria County.
Has that ever, do you feel, has it ever limited you, or is there like a plethora of people just creating awesome stuff in this area?
Initially, when we opened the gallery, there was only 25 artists.
Which is still seems like a lot, no?
It didn't at the time. We have such a huge space that
Okay.
it was a struggle to keep stuff looking full all the time.
Right.
And although I was meeting new people all the time, it was still very challenging to fill the space. So I was thinking, we're gonna need to expand. This isn't gonna work.
It's like Victoria County and Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I needed to add something else, but I don't know. Now we have over 120, and I've still stuck to the Cape Breton Maid. So
That's
it
awesome.
hasn't been as challenging. I do like the element of our artist in residence program, like bringing
that's
in
really
someone
cool.
from outside.
Yeah.
It's great for the community to see someone else and learn about their practice, but it's also it's good for the artisan to maybe see what it's like to live here in Cape Breton. Maybe they want to move here.
Yeah, I think it's so innovative of you, and I think it's something very similar. And I sit down with a lot of restaurateurs and operators, as you know, and chefs, and I think it's something that you see some of more so in Europe than here, like residencies with chefs or up and coming chefs traveling and kind of staging, if you will.
Cool.
I don't know if you know that term or not,
Nope.
but it's basically like you say you're a chef in Paris and you want to come to Cape Breton because there's Brian at the Bite House, for example. Do you know the Bite House?
I do.
Yeah. So he decides, like, I'm going to open my door and Joe from Paris can come and spend 3 months in my restaurant and we'll work together and he'll learn about our terroir. He can teach me some of his skills, that kind of thing. So it's this sharing and growing and learning. And I think it's really cool. And I don't know, I'm assuming you're not the only place doing this, but I feel like it's such a great platform for you and your business, but also such a cool conduit for artists to come and discover Bedeck, but Cape Breton and Nova Scotia. It must be pretty rewarding for you to provide that platform, no?
It can be, yeah. I've become really good friends with everyone that's come through
I
our
imagine,
program. Yeah, it's kind of hard not to get attached. And I think the feeling is mutual. Everyone wants to move here when they're done.
Yeah. So if people are listening and they are artists or they are creators, which I know make up a big portion of our listeners, and they're intrigued by this, how do they apply, or how do they find out if they can be a part of this program?
Yeah, so they can check out our website,
Right?
victoriacountycreates.ca.
Yeah, there it
and
is.
They'll see all the information about our residency program there, and it has a picture of the beautiful cottage that they would get to stay in, and all the information that they would want to know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. Is anyone currently, or because of COVID, it's kind of poo-pooed that idea?
It totally has, yeah. We couldn't make any commitments this year, unfortunately. We weren't even sure if we would be reopening.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We did, thankfully, in mid-June, and we're giving it a go. Thank you to the Canadian government for giving us some support.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out government. We won't make this a political show, but that's good that they're helping you guys out. So Courtney, I know you've listened to some of the podcasts, which is amazing. Thank you so much. But maybe some of the ones that you didn't listen to were ones like this, where I sat down with others. And if you listen through to the entirety of the podcast, nothing is scripted. So nothing that we've discussed today have we discussed before. It's just you and me having a conversation. I do that because I want for these conversations to be genuine, and I want for you and I just to get to know each other, and me to learn about you, and then the listeners to learn about you as well. But there is 2 questions that I do ask every single guest, and I'm going to ask you them right now, and I know you're going to do an amazing job. So the show, as you know, is called the Half a Dozen Hospitality Podcast. So I have for you, Courtney, the 2 questions. The first one is the half a dozen have-tos. Stay with me here.
Okay.
So what I need from you is 1 to half a dozen. So 1 or 6. You can do 1 and tap out, or go all the way to 6 if you want, of things that you've done in your life that you feel like our listeners have to do. It can be a mug that you drink your coffee out of. It can be a piece of art you've looked at, a book you've read, a meal you've eaten, a trip you've taken, a mountain you've climbed. What would be 1 to 6 of Courtney Smith's have-tos?
I think my advice would be, because of it's something I struggle with, is to find balance.
Okay.
So if you are a workaholic and that's all you do, take that hour that you aren't doing anything, make an hour that you're not doing something, and put something on your list. Make a list of things that you would like to see or do, and work your way through it.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm again, because of COVID, I guess. Thank you.
Right.
I've forced myself to appreciate my downtime more this season, and that's meant getting out and hiking in Cape Breton, and we have so much beauty here. It's made my work life a lot easier, being able to de-stress on those off days. So I think that would be my one thing.
Yeah.
Make a bucket list and work through it.
Okay. And are there any others? Any of your have-tos?
No, everything would be so subjective, I suppose.
Okay.
Would love to tell everyone to go visit Ireland as well, but
okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Those are great. And actually that's a good segue. You mentioned bucket list. The next question is the same kind of idea, but it's the half a dozen haven't yet. So what would be 1 to 6 things that you haven't done yet that you want to do?
Oh, wow. Well, for me, I think it would be good to take more time to expand my skill set in ways that would help the business. So I'd love to take some more online education courses.
Okay.
I guess to make me do my job better, and
right.
maybe take some training and stuff like that. That would be on my list.
It sounds like you're already doing a pretty awesome job.
Oh, thanks.
But I will stop by the shop and I will check it out and make sure you are indeed doing an awesome job. I'm going to grab a t-shirt and maybe one of Kate Leach's pieces because they are beautiful. Before we do let you go and enjoy the rest of your morning and find some balance for yourself, if listeners do want to reach out, you've mentioned the website a couple times, but let us know what it is again. And then you mentioned you're also on Instagram. Any other platforms that you want to promote, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, so we have Facebook and Instagram,
okay.
And now we have an online store on our website. So the website again is victoriacountycreates.ca, and our Instagram and Facebook handle is vc.creates.
Nice. And I want to say thank you so much. You did an awesome job. Courtney and I traded emails a few days ago, and her gut instinct was to say no.
No, thank you.
But then she said yes, and I'm very grateful that you, one, were so hospitable with your partner and allowed me to come into your home and allow all these people that are watching now into your home. But I also want to say I'm super proud of you for doing what you do, and since we've shared these mics, I now consider you a friend.
Yay.
So if there's anything I can do for you or for VCC, please let me know. I'd be happy to fly your flag. And thank you for flying the flag of 120 talented individuals from Victoria County. And I can't wait to check your store out. And if you guys are ever in Badek, make sure you stop in to Victoria County Creates. And if Courtney's in there, say hello, introduce yourself. And if you're not in there and you're in another artisan shop, talk to people, ask them about the product, ask them what quality is, ask them about the artist, and find out what is right for you. Yeah?
Yes. Thank you, Brad.
Yeah, no, my absolute pleasure. You did an awesome job. Thank you guys for tuning in. That is Courtney. I am Brad. This is the Half a Dozen Hospitality Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in as you do week after week. If it wasn't for you, this show literally would not exist. So I appreciate and love you all. That is it for me. Have an amazing day. Be good to each other, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good job. You did it.